Hey guys, welcome back to the Ultimate Goosebumps Man channel, and today I'm bringing you guys another episode review from the classic 90s Goosebumps TV show. If you know the book review I just did, you're gonna know what episode this is. This is the very first episode of the original Goosebumps show. It was the pilot, it kicked off the whole thing, and for most people this is the pinnacle of the TV show. And I somewhat agree with that. I think there is an episode that I do like a little bit more than this one, which I'll get to later on once I get to that review down the line. But this is still a fantastic episode, don't get me wrong. This is arguably better than the book in some ways. I still give the book a 10 out of 10. This episode's a 10 out of 10. It's great. It is, yeah, again, first episode, it was one of the R.L. Stine specials, so basically it was opened and closed by R.L. Stine himself hosting it. It was a two-parter, and of course, that episode is The Haunted Mask. Now this episode, as I mentioned, is a Goosebumps classic. This is pretty much the episode that everybody on the internet will talk about. When they talk about the best Goosebumps episode, they'll usually say The Haunted Mask is the best one. And again, I somewhat agree with that statement. It is a phenomenal episode of the show, and just to think that this is the very first one they ever did truly is impressive to know, because they knocked it out of the park pretty much immediately. And for most of the show, never lived up to it. I think there is, again, one episode that does surpass this episode, in my opinion, just a little bit. But this is still an all-time amazing episode. If you haven't watched it, check it out. You know, it's another one of those episodes that you just gotta see and experience for yourself if you really want to get an authentic opinion on this. Don't just watch a review and just leave it at that. This review is just for fun. But you definitely have to see this episode. There's no getting around that. Again, this is one of the best episodes of the show. It's very well made, it's well acted, it's well shot. You know, the mask looks amazing, you know. You got this awesome looking mask design, which is, again, very iconic, very different from the Jacobus art, but still works very well for the show standards. But going into a little bit of a plot review, if you saw my book review, you pretty much know it's the same plot as the book. Follows Carly Beth Caldwell, played amazingly by Catherine Long, easily the best child actress on Goosebumps, alongside, what's his name, Brendan Fletcher. Catherine Long and Brendan Fletcher, who played Grady in The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, are the two best actors for the child actors in this show. They both do a great job, but I think Catherine Long is easily the standout. She just nails that very sympathetic, sad, timid side of Carly Beth that the book showcases. And I feel like the episode makes you sympathize a bit more for Carly Beth just because of Catherine Long's performance. She is amazing in this. And, you know, and in terms of the plot, it's basically the same plot. She's bullied by Chuck and Steve, who is two boys who love to scare her. And the episode definitely portrays Chuck and Steve more as bullies than they does in the book. I think in the book they're kind of seen as kind of friends who just like to pick on Carly Beth because, as it says in the book and episode, they like her. Which, I mean, okay guys, you do you, but not really a way you show you like a girl. But anyways, getting off topic here. But yeah, in the episode, Chuck and Steve definitely come across more as bullies than in the book. They don't really seem hanging around Carly Beth and Sabrina like they do in the book. They're played much more mean, I feel like, in the episode. I think that Amos Crawley and the actor who plays Steve, I can't remember his name. It's not John White who plays him in Haunted Mask 2. It's a different actor playing Steve in this one, but, you know, I can't remember his name. Apologize if you guys can remind me of the actor's name. Comment down below if you know it, but I'm forgetting his name at the moment. But yeah, Chuck and Steve are portrayed very well in the episode. Amos Crawley is great as Chuck in both this and Haunted Mask 2. And also random fact by Amos Crawley, getting a little off topic, but Amos Crawley also did the voiceover of Larry Boyd in My Harriest Adventure. That episode has Amos Crawley playing Larry, at least the voice, which is a little fun fact, but I can get more into that in the My Harriest Adventure review. Just thought I'd bring it up here while mentioning Amos Crawley. But anyways, yeah, Chuck and Steve constantly pick on Carly Beth. and she's just sick of it. She wants to go to this Halloween store that's run by this really creepy shopkeeper who is, I think, played up more mysterious and sinister in the episode than he is in the book. You know, he is a little bit of an older guy. He has this weird, like, facial deformity on him, which you learn more about that later on. And he's very stern, very just kind of standoffish to Carly Beth. And eventually, Mike took in the book, she goes into the back room of this store and finds these 6 deformed, ugly masks that are just really terrifying designs and are arguably a little bit scarier looking than they are in the book. They're much more realistic looking. They're, I think, remember from when I was in Goosebumps crew, we did an interview with Matt DeWild, and he said the masks are all designed after the 7 deadly sins, which you can kind of see if you look at them. But she ends up, again, Carly Beth ends up discovering, of course, the haunted mask right here, and she's just glued to it immediately. There's this really creepy scene where the masks, like, come to life almost. Their eyes open for a second, they all turn to look at the shopkeeper when he enters. Really creepy stuff, an eerie looking effect, even if it is slightly dated. And unlike in the book, where the shopkeeper eventually caves and sells Carly Beth the mask, in the episode, Carly Beth steals it, which I do think is a little bit of a better change personally, because it more shows Carly Beth's desperation at this point. It already shows like the mask is having some kind of a corrupting effect on her. She's doing something completely out of character that she would never do, and she does throw him the money still, but it was never any kind of official purchase or anything like that. She just takes the mask, throws the money at the shopkeeper, and runs out of the store. Which again, I don't know, I kind of like that change a little bit more, because again, it highlights Carly Beth's desperation a bit more to me. And then, much like in the book, you know, the mask starts taking her over. It starts to, you know, fuse to her face and change her personality. And that's all I'm going to get into again. There are some other plot points that they change in the episode that aren't in the book. But again, I don't want to spoil a ton of stuff for this one. So you're going to have to watch it for yourself for some of these reveals, especially involving the shopkeeper and kind of what his backstory is. But yeah, this episode is fantastic. It is a reason why this is one of the most beloved episodes of the show. There's no words to describe how great this thing is. You know, the performances are amazing from pretty much everyone. Catherine Short is still a little bit iffy for a child actor. Same with Chuck and Steve. Like, they're both fun. They're all fun actors. They all do a good job for their parts and get the job done. But Catherine Long is the standout in this episode. She is phenomenal as Carly Beth. I think she really does bring that character to life in a way that I don't think any other actress could. And so much to the point where when you read The Haunted Mask after seeing the episode, you pretty much just envision Catherine Long as Carly Beth, even when reading the book. Like, she has done that kind of thing with the role. Almost like how with Harry Potter, you see Daniel Radcliffe in the role of Harry. When you reread the books, that's who you picture as Harry. It's the same thing with Carly Beth. That's how great Catherine Long was in the role. I think the actor who played the shopkeeper is also very good. As I mentioned, he's very intimidating, very sinister, much more so than in the book. In the book, he's a slightly friendly guy in the book. But in the episode, he's very standoffish, very kind of rude. He's, again, very intense, which I kind of like that characterization a bit more. I also like how he stands his ground. He doesn't cave and sell Carly Beth the mask like he does in the book. And yeah, his character is great. Carly Beth's mom is also played very well by the actress. I can't remember her name, but she is also very good in the role. You really do feel like she cares about Carly Beth. Her performance really does make it feel like her and Catherine Long are mother and daughter in this relationship in the episode. And they do a great job with that. The kid who plays Noah, yeah, he's not the best actor because he's like probably 8 or 9, maybe even like 7 or something like that. He's pretty young in this episode. But he's actually played by, I think his name is Cody Jones, who also ended up playing Danny in The Ghost Next Door, which is another one of my favorite episodes of the show. So that's another fun little thing that he carried over later on this season when he was much older, obviously. But yeah, the performances are good. The creature effects and practical effects involving the mask itself, especially the main haunted mask, are phenomenal. The mask design is very scary. I would say it's arguably a bit scarier than the Tim Jacobus design. If you remember my Haunted Mask ranking video I made, I did rank it below the Jacobus and Dorman designs personally, just because I think the artwork is so well done and iconic that I had to put it a little bit above. But it's still a fantastic mask. It still made it into my top 3. And I think I love the most about the mask in the episode is how throughout the episode it slowly becomes more realistic. You know, it starts out looking like a fake rubber mask, and then after it molds itself to Carly Beth's face when she puts it on the second time, you see it starts to sweat. You know, you don't see the eye holes anymore, they're just blended in with her skin. The teeth, well, originally very rubbery and fake, turn very realistic and grotesque. It's just great little attention to detail like that the episode didn't need to add, but they did, and I really appreciate that. The Halloween atmosphere is spot on in this. You really do feel like you're trick-or-treat. It goes back to when you were a kid, especially if you grew up in the 90s or early 2000s. You know, it really does give that or classic Halloween feel that you don't really get anymore nowadays. Like, people don't really celebrate Halloween anymore, which I don't understand, but it's a shame to see. But it really does nail that classic Halloween trick-or-treating aesthetic, which I love. And yeah, it's a great episode. The music is good, directing is good. I can't remember, let me see, does it say on the VHS who directed this? Timothy Bond. Timothy Bond is the director of this episode, and again, he does a great job. He's done a few other episodes. I can't remember what other episodes he's done, but I know he's done a few. He's definitely one of the more iconic Goosebumps directors, alongside like Willem Fruitt, and it's understandable why, because this guy has a lot of great directing chops. You know, he's awesome, and just everything about this episode, just watch it. It's all-time classic. I would say watch it alongside Haunted Mask 2 as like a back-to-back marathon special thing. I don't know what you want to call it, but watch those two back-to-back as a double feature because they are great. Both episodes are great. Again, I think Haunted Mask 2 is a little bit better. It's a little spoiler here. I already said in my two-parter ranking that I made a while back, but the Haunted Mask 2 is my favorite episode of Goosebumps. But this is just a very close second. Like, this is just an all-time classic episode that is so understandable why everybody loves it. Most people claim it's the best one because it is truly great. Don't really know what else there is to describe it with, but that's my review for the Haunted Mask episode. I don't think there's anything else I need to say. I give this episode a 10 out of 10. It is truly a phenomenal piece of work for the Goosebumps TV show. Probably one of the best pieces of 90s television in general, in my opinion. It's really stands apart from the rest of the series, and it's just great. So that's all I gotta say for this episode review. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I just appreciate all you guys coming onto the channel, watching my content, subscribing, and I can't wait to keep bringing you guys more content in the future. So as of right now, I will see you all in the next video, and have a scary day, everyone.